is right now, if I was out in the snow, if it was warm outside, like that first picture you saw, I'd be in danger of sweating everything out. We always recommend staying in layers. First of all, I count the hat as a layer in and of itself. The ears and the top of your head release 40% of all your body heat. Sorry, trying to go through this quick. I'm burning up in this.
Yeah.
Then you always have a jacket. You lose a little bit of being waterproof, but you should be fine. Besides, you can usually brush off the snow. Then you have the gloves, of course. Sometimes you just might want to take them off just so you have better handling in case you're cooking or something. You always have your sweatshirt. Usually I'd have a Class B, or well, this is a Class B. I'd usually have a Class A under this in case we're doing any kind of event. Then I have this shirt underneath. These pants, they're nice because they keep water out. Underneath I have a pair of jeans under here, which one thing you have to be careful about is jeans can retain a lot of water. So I actually have quite a few pairs or replacements in my backpack, just in case. I have nice waterproof boots. Can't really do anything out of layers. I highly recommend you do not take anything like this off, even as a layer. You're gonna be fine in a t-shirt and anything like this. You do not want to get your leg wet, first of all. You might be looking over and going, oh, third of all, hydration. That's one big important thing. A lot of people think that you're up in the snow, they don't really mind hydration as much over the summer. It's cold outside, they don't think, there's no way I can get dehydrated. Once again, the whole point of the layers is in case you sweat it out or in case snow gets in. You're gonna get hot and you're gonna sweat a lot, depending if you have your layers too hot. It's gonna take out a lot of water. You wanna stay hydrated in any case. As long as you follow those rules, you'll be semi-comfortable. If you don't, it'll get to the point where it may be actually dangerous if you actually having something wrong, having some problem such as frostbite, or you're gonna have to have a big reliance on others. That's the #1 reason of unhappy scouts. From here, you might be looking over and going, what's the deal with this big plastic bag? Quite frankly, I need to go to the store and get a nice pack cover. It's an improvised pack cover. What I've done is just put over my backpack, took a nice pair of scissors, just cut out 2 holes. I can easily get it strapped over my arm. It does wonders for keeping snow off, keeps it out. If it melts at all, it'll get on my pack. It's pretty simple of taking off. You can just pull everything through one by one, except for buckles getting caught. And here you go. Now for the actual pack. Let's have a breakdown of it. First, I always in this top pack, or any place that has a nice amount of room where it's highly accessible, put in my 3 needs. 1, in case you need to run to the food real quick. Always nice to have quick access to it. 2, first aid kit. If you're gonna need it, you're gonna need it fast. You're gonna want it highly accessible in your pack, just like in any other regular camp out. And 3 is the toiletries kit. Has everything set up in it. They have bathrooms up there, but you're still gonna need teeth, toothbrush, toothpaste, all your hygiene, deodorant. Now onto the side. This side, I have a couple of flashlights. Now, I have a headlamp, which is always, of course, nice for the trail. Sticks on your head, fits fine. Elastic, so it doesn't really matter. Great for the trail. One thing I recommend against, though, is having it at camp. People treat you like Medusa while you're wearing it. You look at them, look away! Second of all, just for camp, I have a little smaller one. Also, if you're just in a pinch, you can let someone borrow your headlamp just in case they're not prepared. And one thing about this is it's actually out of batteries. Also want to keep a pair of extra batteries in your pack at all time, either for replacing of the headlamp or replacing of your other flashlight. Always keeps it nice. Moving on to the side, I generally don't put anything in this pack if I have room in the other two. Okay. Then I have sorry, just a second. There we go. Then I have this bag on top. Even if inside everything, our troop tends to put everything in bags just in case. It's just a safeguard in case your pack does get wet and anything soaks through, all your gear safe. It's gonna be miserable if this bag is all my sleeping gear. It's gonna get miserable if wet. Just a second. There we go. All my sleeping gear over here. And I tend to keep them in the top of the bag, but one thing I'd recommend is when you get your tent set up, just throw your pack in there and don't lay out all your sleeping gear. One thing about it is it tends to get cold, and it's nice if it just retains the heat down here in Fresno a little bit. Once you open up at night, it's going to be warmer instead of having it lay out there, just gathering cold. I have a nice change of clothes in here, so I don't have to go into this other one in case I'm sweaty from during the day. So I'm not sleeping in some wet clothes. I'd also use the sweatshirt over there in case it's colder than you expect. I have 2 pairs of socks. Always nice to keep your feet warm, keep circulation going. Want to do a couple layers. Then this is actually a don't do, which I just had to go shopping to get another one, but one thing about this sleeping pad is it's inflatable. You're in general not going to want inflatable sleeping bags or sleeping pads, because one thing about them is all the air inside gets cold, and you're basically laying on a big mass of cold air. Yep. If you let it out during the day, you're going to stay up for more than 2 days. You're generally going to want just the simple fold-out pads that just stay there and offer support. And then for the actual sleeping bag, this one's pretty nice. It's pretty water resistant, not 100%, but it'll in general keep things out. This is, it's usually just a summer one. It's it doesn't keep you very warm, which is why I generally tend to sleep with a lot of clothes, but also to solve that problem, I have this. It's sleeping bag lining. It's just another layer to keep you warm. Unfortunately, this is also, if it gets wet, you're also messed up too. Generally, whatever you do on this camp out, just stay dry. Rule number 1. It can make the difference between being uncomfortable and being in a dangerous situation. Actually, on top of the, thank you, buddy. On top of the actual bag that had sleeping gear, usually I'd keep another bag that would actually have troop gear, which we would divvy up before we went up there, so I don't have any of it right now with me on the person. But always keep in mind you want that troop gear accessible in case you're finally starting to cook dinner or something. You're gonna generally take out that bag. Second to last bag that I have down here is extra changes of clothes. I have two pairs of extra jeans in case that one, either I sweat or I get it wet. I have long sleeve shirts, replace. I have a bunch of extra pair of socks. One thing you're really gonna worry about is your feet getting wet, because it's the hardest place for your body to warm up. There's not much you can really do besides the boots. Sometimes the inside of the boot gets wet. And actually, speaking of that, There's these wool socks, they're really nice, they're heavy duty, they're really warm. They're water resistant, won't keep water out, and once they're wet, they're gonna retain water in. The only problem I find with them. But other than that, they're pretty fit. Just head down to REI, you can probably find some around there. I know the Scout Shop is where I got these. With the actual change of clothes, quite a few pair of socks. Generally, if you have these kind of socks, what I do is I double layer them, because just this pair of socks is heavier duty. Just this pair of socks is heavier duty, and it'll keep water out. These won't keep water out as much, and it's not really fit for cold conditions. So it's always nice to double layer it, like I have in the actual sleeping gear. Want to change of clothes and all that. Yeah. Then I usually keep medicines and such in a case like this. Pouches here. I have notebook and pencils. Just nice to have in case you're having any meetings or have to plan something out. Usually you'll be up there and you'll have to do schedules. You'll be heading to different stations. It's nice to keep track of people. Then usually that's for more of leadership positions. But just so you have it in mind. And generally, as long as you follow the main 3 rules that I stated when I started out, you're gonna stay pretty comfortable. I have a couple extra things down in this case, just in case anyone forgets anything. Just a couple of shirts, then a couple pairs of socks. Then I have this flashlight, but generally you don't want to take a whole lot more than you need. Just adds extra weight, and the hike up there is not actually too bad despite it being in the snow. Your main problem is you're going to get warm and sweaty, which you're going to have to remember for that extra pair of clothes. And I do have camping gear with me. Okay, I do have a bit of troop gear with me. I have a couple pots and pans that you're going to need, but I'll leave that for Wayne's presentation. He's going to be doing a presentation on how to cook. Just let me clean up a little bit and I'll get out of your way, Wayne.
So a couple of
Any questions?
A couple of shoes.
What?
Do you take snowshoes?
Do I take snowshoes? I generally just keep these boots. They're waterproof. They're basically all I need. Yes?
Can you take roller shoes?
Can you take what?
Roller shoes.
Railer shoes?
Regular
shoes. No. Those, once they get wet, they're going to soak water in. Like,
So I can't take like these then?
no, it's going to soak water in. The water's going to stay in every time you put it on. It's going to be miserable. Even if you have those double layer socks, those socks are going to get wet and soak into water.
So I should wear boots?
Yeah, you're going to need to buy boots.
You're gonna need to bring waterproof boots. That's the important factor right there.
Yes.
Some of our troops, if they can't afford to get bibs, how about jeans? I mean, what do we do with that?
So what Joe's done here is he has a layer on the outside that's going to give him some protection from the water and from the wind and so forth. And he's using his jeans as kind of a layer underneath. The problem with cotton on the outside, any kind of cotton, is that if it gets wet,
It's going to soak in water.
It's going to soak in water, and then it's going to get cold. With wool or some of the other synthetic materials, even if it gets wet, it's going to provide more warmth. So you want to discourage cotton. Now, you can't go out and re-outfit everything, right? He's got some cotton socks here and some cotton things to sleep in.